Yeah, that is my jam. Shout out to Ron Oliver with the mixes. This is perfect for here at the Red Brick House. This is like the sunrise. It's like it's time to get up. It's trying to get moving. Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We are working on getting our studio here set up here at the Red Brick House. This is our temporary set, but this will be the spot that we will be broadcasting from when we are here down in the country. And right now, it is a great time to be alive and to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Today, the Dallas Cowboys get back to practice with pads, the very first padded practice. Knock on wood, let's hope that we don't get any soft tissue injuries or worse. This is where I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see some of the highlights of practice, see what Mozzie Smith looks like out on the field. What I also hope for, because today is day number 6 of Zach Martin holding out. This is now $300,000, my God, $300,000 that he has lost in revenue that will not be made up, regardless of whether or not he gets another contract. So far, there seems to be no end in sight. Jerry Jones basically kind of holding the line that basically you've got a contract and that this is Micah Parsons money. I'm just going to leave it right there with that. We'll keep watching and keep hoping that Zach Martin gets into practice. But now, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where a lot of players, and we have a lot of really good players, some that may even be great, that are actually on the bubble. We have guys that may be released that may be starters on other teams. This may be the most depth that we've had in many positions. I know it is on the defensive line. I remember looking at the defensive line the year we drafted Taco Charlton. We basically looked and said, we ain't got nobody. It was before DeMarcus Lawrence became DeMarcus Lawrence that we all, fell in love with and has been one of the best run-stopping edge rushers in the league. We literally look around and we'd have guys like Malik Collins and Tyrone Crawford is playing at tackles. Now we've got the OC Indigazua, as my man E2 Blue would say. We have guys like Quentin Bohannon, a big man in the middle. We've got Hankins in the middle. And in fact, that we drafted a Mozzie Smith. I want to see Mozzie Smith going against the grown-ass men. I just can't wait. This is where it's almost comical to me because typically, like last year there were so many things, excuse me, there were so many things that you could knock the Dallas Cowboys for last year. Letting go of Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, letting go of Connor Williams and Lyle Collins. Lyle Collins, by the way, who we still are taking an $8 million dead hit. Just pointing that out there. We're still paying him even though he's not currently in the league. And speaking of not currently in the league, how's Carson Wentz doing? Anything? Anybody? Okay. Be that as it may, we have so much depth on this team that we're looking and saying that some of the guys that we've known are on the bubble because this next generation is stepping up. And this is where it's exciting. And if you're Dan Quinn, I can understand why Dan Quinn decided to come back. There's so many great players here. If for no other reason that you just want to go ahead and take these guys and put it together and see if you can truly make something special. I don't know if Micah Parsons, who is doing a lot of talking these days, let's be clear here, Micah Parsons is the mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. He ain't satisfied unless something's happening. I'm trying to get my microphone a little bit closer so we get better sound. He is truly talking the talk, and let's hope that he walks the walk, because he's talked about us being like the 2000 Ravens defense with Ray Lewis, one of the most incredible defenses, rest his soul, Tony Siragusa on that defensive line, as well as many other great players. He's talked about the Legion of Boom. And here's my kind of point here with Micah Parsons. I think that Micah Parsons has become the Richard Sherman of this defense. Richard Sherman was that motivator, that mouth, that guy who always gave you the quotes, that lead dog that would get people motivated. All I'm waiting for is hear Micah Parsons say, don't you ever bring a garbage ass tackle out there to try and stop me. That's all I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for, because that's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an absolute positive beast. Now, we'll have more, of course, later on today. Tonight, we'll be doing our live stream here at 9 o'clock Eastern. Hope you guys join us. But we have some news on the Dalvin Cook situation. And like I said, we're just getting the studio here set up. So we're going to make a little change here. We're going to go to the other set. Okay, so Dalvin Cook, after the love fest that he had seemingly yesterday and for Hard Knocks and things, and I hate to say this, he's left the building. He's left the building without a contract. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm going to say that I believe that this is kind of like some drama for TV. That here it is, you have Dalvin Cook and everything else. The Jets are all ready to sign. He's meeting Woody Harrell, their owner. He's meeting their owner, He's hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. He's watching practice and everything. And he's about to, they think he's about to sign, and then he doesn't. And he leaves. That's drama for Hard Knocks. Is this made up drama? Let's go to Get Up this morning and see what they had to say about the whole situation.
Agent running back excited about the possibility of signing in New York.
Everything about what they got going on, just says winning, and it just got it all written all on it. And adding that piece, Aaron Rodgers, just speak for itself. So just knowing the type of player he is, I'm excited about it.
He's excited about
so
it.
So Kmart, you're with me on
Not
Friday. I'm
excited enough
doing
to
everything
sign.
I can to keep my emotions in check here. What did you tell us about the Dalvin of it all?
So here's the most important thing. As of right now, I have no text yet saying that he is signed. And I find that most interesting because that was the most surreal free agent visit I've seen in a very long time. For him to be there with the fans, them saying sign the contract, for him to be talking to Woody Johnson. Also, when I saw that video, my first thought was just go in the building and sign the piece of paper because it feels like you're already part of the team. But before he went to the Jets, Jeremy Fowler reported the Patriots were interested in trying to get him to visit. He has said playing in Miami would be a Cinderella story. So
That's his hometown.
Because he's from Florida. So I find it very interesting that he hasn't signed yet. I'm wondering, the Jets clearly would love to add him. Does Dalvin want the Jets as much as they want him, or is he using them for leverage? Which I don't begrudge him that if he is. But it'll be interesting to see how the next 24, 48 hours.
He 100% should sign with the Jets. From his perspective, it's the best team that he could go join. That the three are reported to be the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. Number one, they're a true contender, real contender. Number two, he could step in, he knows the scheme, and three, immediate impact. This is a no-brainer. If those are the three teams. Now, I think the Cowboys should be a team that should have the conversation of adding Dalvin Cook.
Here we go. Cowboys, of course. Of course.
Dalvin Cook to the Jets it's not a need, it's a luxury. What does it do for Breece Hall? Does this allow the Jets to ease Breece Hall back into the conversation? Their second-year running back at Iowa State who had the ACL injury. Dalvin Cook, we know, can play at an incredibly high level. And this would be a team that sits there and goes, we want to play 20-plus games this year, and so it makes sense to have depth. This is not a need. It's a luxury addition. But if you're the Jets, you should want Dalvin Cook. And if you're Dalvin Cook, you should be running to the Jets.
Marcus.
I agree with you, Dio, and Kmart. Listen, here's the thing for me. When you think about Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay and what he was able to do with Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook is in that same vein. And if you're trying to build a championship team, you already got the offensive coordinator with a lot of familiarity with Nathaniel Hackett. He understands how to use the back out of the backfield, which we saw Dalvin Cook do a lot of that in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. You just add another dimension. This team is already stacking the whole pantry and cupboard like I've been doing this offseason. So you might as well add another piece to try to win a Super Bowl. And look, for as much of the talk about Aaron Rodgers coming back for another year after this, why wouldn't you throw the kitchen sink at trying to win the Super Bowl this particular year? You had another dynamic offensive weapon. It's a guy that can get the ball. It's a guy that you can get the ball out of your hands quickly because we don't necessarily know how good this offensive line is going to be at the immediate start of the season. So Dalvin Cook would alleviate that as well. To Dan's point, it's a no-brainer. I was thinking the same thing with the Cowboys. I promise you. I put it in my notes yesterday. The Cowboys with Dalvin Cook.
Oh my God.
That's the problem. It depends on what he's asking for. But that was another destination that came to mind as well.
So that is my big question, the money. Because we all say from a roster standpoint, the Jets
That's
make a lot
the
of
real
sense.
question.
They make the most sense, possibly winning a championship. But as we've seen with running backs right now, it's not just about, we know it's not just about trying to win a championship. You want to get all, you also want to get
As much money as you can, sure.
So for Dalvin,
That's what I'm
the
telling
Jets
you,
may
Dez.
make sense on paper, but what does the paper actually say?
I think two parts
He's
of
not
this.
getting the money he
The
wants.
Dallas conversation, Zach Martin holding out. There's no shot that they could pay Dalvin Cook what he could potentially get from the Jets and not pay Zach Martin. Two, Rodgers' pay cut is a big impact in this. I'll go back to the conversation of this.
Apparently
impact
it
on
wasn't
Brees
big
Hall.
enough of a cut.
I think Brees Hall is one of these young backs that is going to break out if he's healthy. But does adding Dalvin Cook stunt his growth and development, or do they sit there and go, we want Dalvin, we expect to play in games into late January or February, this is 20-game season, and we need as much depth as possible?
I guess we
I
can end it
think
here.
depth is the key here. I'll finish it by saying this. There are three things you can't have too much of. You can't be too handsome, you can't be too rich, and you can't have too many running backs in the NFL, because one of them is going to get hurt as sure.
Okay, we're going to leave it right there. So, Dalvin Cook. Of course. The Cowboys make the most sense always with everybody. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to wet my walls over here, go over to my in-laws, get the steps finished, and get back to work on the red brick house. As always, you know I appreciate each and every one of you. I really and truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies, and I will see you guys this afternoon. We'll be here when practice breaks, so that way we'll have all the news for you guys. See you soon.